In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove the glands if you're looking at either making your own lure or trying to sell glands to a lure buyer. Glands for predators, coyotes, bobcats, and foxes are all going to be basically the same. So here we've got front leg, head, and you can see there's kind of a vein coming up, and it kind of wise right here. There's a gland. You can kind of see it's I don't know, a light gray color right in between those two veins. So I'm going to trim that out. You can see that's it right there. I peel it out where I don't get all that fat on it. And I'll just set these aside, accumulate these in a Ziploc baggie, freeze them. And when I get enough to either sell or attempt to make some of my own lures, then I'll proceed from there. Keeping them frozen is key though. Next, right here in front of the front shoulder, you're gonna have you got a big pocket of fat right here, and we got a gland right here in this pocket. And the glands are typically going to be kind of a grayish color, just a little, pea to a lima bean size. These front ones up here are a little bit larger, but there's not a whole heck of a lot to them. That kind of peels some of this fat off. And the same applies for on the other side. I've already cut the front neck gland off the other side, but all right, next you're going to have a gland underneath the front leg. Now a lot of times this gland, it'll be kind of tucked back in some fat in here. A lot of times this will get pulled off when you're skinning. So if you're looking, keep an eye when you're skinning, because I believe that's where this one has gone. It's still stuck on the hide. It'll be just like that last one, just a little old pea-shaped piece. And yeah, you could see all that white fat. You would definitely be able to see that old gland in here. Let's check this other side just to make sure. Alright, here we go. Double check this side. So here's the gland on this side. You can see it's just a little old blob, kind of looks like old snot wad or something. I mean, there's nothing, absolutely nothing to it. But you can see it's just kind of brown in color, brownish gray. Nothing spectacular to it at all. And it takes a good bit of those little glands like that. I've already cut this one out. Let's see. May have already got that one too now that I'm looking at it. Then we'll go move to the back. Typically, right in this seam, kind of the hock of the coyote, there's going to be a gland in there. This one is extremely common to pull off while you're skinning, so you always need to watch for that as you're skinning. If you don't see it on the hide, you can kind of cut in there. It's going to be in this pocket of fat here. It's going to be directly tied in with that. So cut this back, but I'm pretty sure this one came off when I was skinning. And sometimes sometimes it's going to be right in the middle of the fat. So maybe part of it came off, because here we go. This is it right here. I cut it in half, cutting it open, but There you can see, compared to the fat, you know, that's not much to it. There's not much to it. You want to get that fat off as much as possible. Keep it just clean glands. You can double check over here on this other side too. And like I said, it's going to be, that's it right there. It's going to be associated with that fat. And there it is, just a little old pea-sized gland there. Cut the fat off of there, throw that in my bag. Alright, next up is the anus. I tell you what, we'll hang him up for, well, you can see kind of right there. You don't want a lot of hair, which actually, I think we kind of lucked up because that's pretty clean. And so what I'm going to do is just kind of ring around the outside edge. Till I get it kind of pulled loose there. And now I'm trying, there's a little bit of meat here, I'm trying to keep that meat off. All I want is that, about the last 6 inches of that intestinal tract. There's some glands on either side of the anus. I'm going to pick up those. And there you have it. And I think, you know, some people may want the contents of the intestines included, some may not. So that's something that that you'll need to talk with your buyer about, or refer to your recipes if you're going off a recipe. But that's it right there. I'm going to try to peel this fat off. I don't want that on there. Throw that in the bag. Then we're going to go with the bladder. And this is a female. And it's a 50-50 chance that the bladder has got any urine in it. You never know. Well, she's healthy. Look at all that fat in there. So there's not really much urine in there. There's not any at all. I'm going to trim the fat off of the outside edges. And that's your bladder. If it had urine in it, and you like to use coyote urine, of course you can take that, carefully cut it, and squeeze that urine out into your lure bottle before you proceed from there. Some people may want the testicles. Not a lot though. But one thing you can see here, this being a female, it's a reproductive tract. You want this section, uterus, throw that in there as well. And then some people may want the pads. If so, you can just kind of cut straight down and then straight forward. You don't want to get a whole lot of hair on there. But get as much pad as possible. If you cut the pads, I would keep these in a separate bag. Don't put them in with your other glands unless you know that your buyer or your recipe calls for the pads. So, but overall, that's a quick rundown of your glands to remove if you want to make bait or lure, or if you're trying to sell your glands to a lure maker.